Hello there and welcome back to Pallegney. It's August this month and you know what that means. I believe it's harvest time for all of our fields. Let's just check. Yeah, so 14, 13 and 10 all ready for harvesting this month. So I think we will just go and get started on those. Before we do, we've got a whole lot of fields here that are ready to harvest. In fact, if we look at the whole map, I would say probably about half the fields on the whole map are ready for harvesting. So let's take a look at contracts quickly. And not forgetting now that we can do baling contracts for Noah here. We can borrow his tools because we've completed 5 jobs for him. So I might even take a look at doing that once we've harvested our fields. But we do have a lot of harvesting contracts here. So we do have plenty of options for this month and hopefully next month. Okay, so enough talking. Let's grab our harvester and our header. And which field should we do first? Let's quickly check our animals actually. Okay, so we'll do our wheat field first, and then we can get our chickens fed. And then we can focus on the sorghum and the mustard. All right, let's go. Hoi, over the fence. Super excited to harvest my fields this morning, so an extra enthusiastic hoi as I jumped over the fence. Okay, connect to our header trailer, and I think what I'm going to do is just leave the header trailer here, and all of our fields are fairly easy to access from here. We don't need to go down any public roads. So we can just drive straight onto our field with the header attached. Okay, so wheat field first, and let's start reaping the rewards of our hard work throughout the year. This wheat, of course, won't be sold. This is wheat primarily for our chickens. I need to remember to take a pause at the end of each row to get the swaths nice and neat so I can pick them up with the baler. Anyways, what was I saying? We won't be selling any of this wheat. Primarily feed for our chickens. They go through, currently they go through about 1,700 litres per month, so if we times that by 12 it's about 20,000 litres per year, and then any excess will go into our grain mill to make flour from. So no income from this field. The sorghum is going to be used all for grain, so we're not going to get any income from that field. The only income we're going to get from this harvest is the mustard from the field next to us there on the right, and whatever we can make from the straw. We'll bale the straw up, and whatever we can make from that come December or January, whenever it's time to sell it at its premium price. So that's the plan. And then when it comes to planting, we'll be putting wheat back in this field. We'll put... let's see how much wheat we get out of this field first. I need to get 20,000 litres of wheat per year at least. And that's assuming I don't want any more chickens. So... yeah, I'll see how much wheat I get out of this field, and then we'll decide what to do with that field afterwards. Okay, I'm going to carry on, finish off this field, and I will be back with you soon. We are almost done with this field. Just need to turn ourselves around and do the little strip that we couldn't quite fit in on this pass. So got two. This is our third harvester load. So 20,000 litres plus whatever we get from here. I think we're going to get to 5,000. Probably not. Let's say we're probably 4,000, 4,500. Probably closer to 4,000 from this pass. So 24,000 litres from this field. And that's not forgetting that we didn't get the most we can get out of this field because we rushed to plant it the end of last season, so we didn't line the field and get the absolute most we can out of it. I think our expected yield was 110%. The maximum was 125%. So if we look at, let's see what we get once we finish this row. Okay. So we got, let's just round it down to 24,000 litres in total. If we were to get another 15%, that would be 240, 300, 2,400, so 3,000, so 27,000 litres in total if we were getting maximum yield. That is not quite enough to get another 60 chickens, unfortunately. So we're going to have to think what we do about chicken feed. It's crazy to think when you look at this field, when you see it full of wheat, and you think that 120 chickens go through this whole field of wheat in the space of a year. That seems kind of crazy. I mean, although not really. It's whenever you see chickens, all they're doing is pecking at food, right? So it kind of makes sense. I've never seen them do anything else apart from pecking at seeds. So yeah, they're high consumers. Anyways, I'm gonna leave the harvester here right now. I'll move off the track just so that anyone who wants to get past can do. And let's jump in our tractor. We'll get some food over to our chickens, and then we'll drop the rest off in the silo. And we'll move on to our sorghum field. Okay, so this field isn't that big. This is the field that we purchased a couple of months ago. Full of sorghum. And this is going to be going straight to our grain mill. I seem to remember from when I was playing Farming Simulator before that out of the 4 different crops you can put into the flour mill, that sorghum, taking into account the calculations for how much yield you get from the field, how much flour it produces from the source crop, I think sorghum is the best, just about, in terms of being turned into flour. So I know this is only a fairly small field, and this harvest definitely won't be at its best because we don't have the precision farming data. In fact, we don't even have a soil map. I will be purchasing a soil map. Oops, missed a little bit there. Come on, Mr. Sorghum, get in the harvester. You're not escaping. So I will be purchasing a soil map for this just as soon as I'm done harvesting. So next year's harvest in this field, if we do replant sorghum, will be higher. Although what I'm thinking I might do is plant wheat in both of these fields, the one I've just done and this one. Then after next year's harvest, we'll be able to buy some more chickens because we'll have enough wheat to feed them for another year. And then I think I will probably buy another field for sorghum. Sorghum is a spring crop. It doesn't get planted until March or April. I don't remember exactly when. Whereas wheat is a winter crop or an autumn fall crop. I think it needs to be planted this month or next month or the month after or something like that. So yeah, that's my plan. Wheat in that field, wheat in this field. I know it's not interesting crop wise, but we have to sustain our chickens somehow. And then maybe I'll put sorghum in the field that has mustard in it currently. We'll see what's happening once we are done with this field. Alright, I'm gonna quickly finish it off and I will be back with you very shortly. So the sorghum field is almost complete. We have one, this is our second harvester load, so not a great yield. If we look at I've been keeping an eye on the map in the lower left corner, and for the most part the yield color has been red. So yeah, if you look at the yield map in the bottom left right now, most of the field yielding around 50 to 60% of its potential. So no wonder the other farmer sold it to me at a discount. He clearly hadn't been looking after it and left it to us to take care of. But that's okay, we got it for a reasonable discount, and we will make sure that the soil is in tip-top condition for the next harvest. They're just finishing up this little strip here, and we'll get this emptied into our trailer, and then we'll head over to the mustard field once we've emptied this sorghum into the grain mill. Hello chickens, you enjoying your fresh wheat there? That's what I like to hear. Okay, let's get this emptied, and we'll take a look at our production here. So we'll turn this off because that is done now. And so if we look at wheat is 5 in to 4 out, barley is 30 in to 23 out, oat is 15 to 19. Oh, okay, so oat and sorghum are higher output than they are input. But based on, as I mentioned when I was harvesting the sorghum, based on my previous calculations and taking into account the yield you gain from each crop, I believe sorghum is the best ratio. Feel free to correct me if that's not the case, but that's what my previous calculations showed. Anyways, let's activate the sorghum production. We will leave that running. And then let's take a look at our flour mill. There's only 500 litres of bread in there. There's just over 1,000 litres of flour. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave the bread production off until next month. So we'll let the flour build up a little bit. And then next month it can start producing bread. Before we go back to our mustard field, let's take a quick look at precision farming and the information we have for this field. Let's take a look. Yeah, we don't have the yield map. Wasn't great. We got 85 to 95% for a little piece of it, but most of it was down there at the 60 to 70% range. Okay, let's purchase some soil information for this field. Spend the 1750, and then we can ensure that the pH level and the nitrogen level are perfect for our next harvest. See, it needs a little bit of attention on both of those things, but we'll make sure it gets well taken care of this season. Okay, let's take our tractor and trailer. In fact, I think I will leave the tractor and trailer here because we can actually just dump this straight into our silo. So, third field of the day. Again, this is our... Is this our first mustard harvest? I believe it is, because this field originally that we bought, this was our first field here that we ended up building our farm on. This originally had wheat in it. So, first time harvesting mustard. Let's see how much yield we get. It's definitely increasing slower than the wheat and sorghum, but it's also worth a lot more when we sell it. I've had a quick look through the production buildings, and I don't think you can do anything with mustard on this map. I think it's just a harvest and sell situation. Once we've done this field, I'll see how much we can get for it. Okay, I will continue, and I will see you back here once I'm done. are almost done with our mustard field here. Just have one more pass to make. And almost 20,000 litres from this field. We emptied the harvester directly into the grain silo once, and we are approaching another full tank. So once we're done here, we'll take it over to the silo, and while it's emptying, we'll see when is the best time to sell and how much we're going to gain from it. I think this is going to be a very decent haul in terms of profit once we do eventually sell it. So let's just pick up this last little piece, and we'll see our projected income. Let's get it emptying. Okay. And down to our crop calendar, or not our calendar, our crop prices. Where is mustard? It's just here. So 14.92 in December. So that'll be a nice 30,000 euros or so. I did see in here old style mustard. So it does look like you can process this into something. So I might take a quick look at that. I'm pretty sure I went through the productions that we can build, and there's nothing in there for processing mustard. But I'm going to take a quick look. I'll be back in a second. I can't seem to find anything. The only other thing I can possibly think is that you can take it to Farm Cheeses, because Farm Cheese is like an artisanal style store, but I don't know how to find that out. There's no easy way to see what the map productions take in terms of inputs. And Farm Cheeses isn't a buyable industry. You have to buy the plot of land it's located on, and I don't have the means to get 700,000 euros to test that out right now. I looked through all of the buildable productions, and there's nothing for mustard. Anyway, we have a couple of things that we need to get done, so I'm going to rent a mulcher and mulch the sorghum and mustard fields that we've just harvested. Here we are back at the farm with our mulcher, and running very low on money. About 500 euros left. So I think what I'm going to do for the rest of this episode is we'll mulch our two fields that need mulching, and we'll return the tool, and then we will bale the straw in the wheat field. Okay, we are almost done mulching our 2 fields. Really was trying to get that done as quickly as possible, so we can return this mulcher. And then there's one more thing I do want to get done today, and that's picking up the straw bales from our wheat field. I've been doing some thinking while mulching the fields and while harvesting the mustard field, and what I think I'm going to do is, rather than plant wheat in this field as a secondary field, I'm going to plant the wheat where the mustard was, in addition to where it was for this season. So wheat in the field straight ahead of us, wheat in the field next to it, and that will give us a nice healthy yield next year so that we can get more chickens. And then we'll figure out a different crop for this field that we're on right now. Alright, let's get our baler out, and we need to move our spreader out of the way. So we'll get our baler out and we'll take care of the straw bales. Now, I do have the net wrap add-on for the baler now, so be interested to see if that now works. So actually what I'll need to do, need to pull the net wrap out of storage quickly. Let's go over to the field. We've got our net wrap installed, and let's get this baling done. See how many bales we get. I don't know why, but baling and grass mowing, it's actually one of my favorite jobs in this game. Something about it, it's almost therapeutic in a weird way. Random farmer facts. Alright, let's get this field completed. We'll take a quick trip around the headland, and let's see that first bale come out. It takes a little bit longer to come out because it's not being... Okay, well, it says that it was being wrapped, but that doesn't look like it was wrapped. It's used up some of the net wrap. Maybe it's something to do with the fact that there was already straw in the baler before we added the net wrap add-on. So the straw was in the baler from the last time I used it, and that was when the baler didn't have the net wrap add-on. So let's see if my theory was correct when the next bale comes out. Okay, so up to 100, and let's see. Yeah, there we go. Some nice red net wrap around our bale. Doesn't that just look nice? Alright, enough guffawing over our delightful red net wrap. Let's get the rest of this field done. I will see you once it's complete. last little piece here. And then we'll put our baler away. And we'll discuss what needs to be done in September and October. We'll leave the bales in the field. How many did we get in total? 9 bales, so 99,000 litres. That'll be around 8,000 euros come December, January time when the bales are in demand. Okay, just reverse this into the corner. We do not need that again until next year. Probably wasn't worth buying it actually. It's one of our least used tools, and it cost 100,000 euros. But never mind. We're going to go into negative balance overnight. So I think next month what we're going to do is we'll do a contract for one of our neighbours to earn some money. And then we will lime our fields, whichever ones need liming, which is going to be these two, possibly this one a little bit. And then if we go down to our crop calendar, I think we'll plant wheat in the 2 fields next to our farm. And then what else can we plant? Maybe we'll plant some spelt in the field that had sorghum in it. Spelt is another one of those crops that isn't a base game crop. So it'd be good to put that in the ground. And we're also going to have to roll the fields. I really do want to get the most out of our harvest next year, so maybe we'll leave the spelt until the month after. We'll definitely do the wheat next month because that's important for our chickens. So we'll lime our fields, we'll sow the wheat, and hopefully we'll get around to rolling the wheat fields, because they need to be rolled the same month you sow them before the seeds germinate. That gives us, I think it's 5% harvest bonus next year. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing next month. We'll leave this episode here. I hope you have enjoyed harvesting the first fields that we own with me this month. And I will hopefully see you in September. As always, thank you for watching. Bye for now.